Hey there, it's Joseph, and welcome back to the San Miguel de Allende Secrets YouTube channel. And today we're going to talk about the murals for love, free trade, and tolerance that can be found in nearby Common. As always, in the descriptive box below, there are links where you can gather more information, or you can click on Amazon.com and go on off to the site that sells all 10 best-selling books in the San Miguel de Allende Secrets book series. Every mural lover should visit Common museum that was once home to the leading lady of love story in our area's colonial history. The museum also features murals to pre-Hispanic indigenous culture alongside modern artistic expressions in the biography of a very radical priest. The museum's main murals depict Maria, Manuela, Antonio, Basila, Roxas, Taboda. Names were really long then, so let's just call her Manuela for short, who was born in San Francisco, Chamaco, indigenous for place of ruins and today called Common, a decade after the American Revolution in 1776. At that time, girls didn't go to school, but as a wealthy lass, Manuela was educated by private tutors at home, as pictured up there in the upper left-hand corner. Colonial-era marriages among the wealthy are a bit of a mystery to me. It's hard to know with the passage of time. Was the marriage simply a business transaction, an exchange of her dowry for protection, or actual passion? When Manuela married Mariano Absozola in the still lovely St. Francis Church in Common, where she had been baptized, there is no question that yes, she was wealthy, but she also had real chemistry with Mariano. Mariano and Manuela were squarely on the side of the rebels come the revolution with Spain. Manuela's brother Pedro and her cousin Ignacio had been killed in battle while her husband continued fighting. She donated her fortune to Ignacio Allende and Father Hidalgo in their quest for freedom from Spain, as pictured in the lower left corner. Mariano was caught in battle and sentenced to life imprisonment in Spain. This part of the story always confuses me, as why did the Spanish want to ship a convict all the way back to Spain? Perhaps they were afraid he would escape here. For donating funds to the insurgents, his wife was arrested also, and she volunteered to serve his sentence with him. Legend states Manuela jokingly referred to the boat ride as her, quote, free trip to Spain. The humor ends there, as Mariano and Manuela were stuck in prison in a foreign country, as seen in the upper right-hand corner. He died in her arms following a painful illness. The revolution over and her husband dead, Manuela was released from prison and returned to Common as an old woman. She had her funeral mass at St. Francis, the church that was the constant in her life from baptism to marriage, then death. Manuela is known today as the, quote, heroine of love, for truly always standing by her man in a way Tammy Wynette could only aspire to. Manuela's former home served as a mayor's office, with rooms still decorated as such, and is now a museum filled with a grand mural of her life and love of Commonford, Mexico, and Mariano. Also on display are murals depicting the fruits and vegetables grown here since the time of the Atomies, indigenous farmers, called the area home. Across from the Atomies and their agricultural achievements are murals depicting the Chichimecas, indigenous hunter-gatherers. They are shown dancing and being a bit more, well, unsettled, as hunter-gatherers tend to be. Between the Atomies and the Chichimecas are murals depicting the Puripecas singing to the stars. Where Common stands today was a major trading post between the indigenous cultures, as funeral remains contain the Puripecas from today's Pátzcuaro area and Aztecs from the Mesoamerican Empire to the south around today's Mexico City. Modern-day scenes show craftsmen making molcajetes used to grind food, plus baskets, pulque, and religious sculptures. Festival murals use the two-paint color process to pull in the Chichimeca dancers and the Tomi cooks from past celebrations. There is also a detailed biographical mural of Dr. Morrow, the priest that was a century ahead of his time in insisting that the 1824 Mexican Constitution not state Roman Catholicism as the sole religion. His bid for religious freedom failed, as did his notion of expropriating church property, both of which occurred a century later. Dr. Morrow's mural includes another use of the two-color process, this time highlighting the differences between indigenous and Spanish women that we saw on the previous slide. You may be familiar with the nearby town of Dr. Morrow. A former hacienda, the village was named Dr. Morrow in 1949 and is widely recognized for its incompatibly delicious beef carnitas. Still, if you really want to try some unique beef, there are bull penis tortoise for sale just outside the museum. As always, feel free to click the subscribe button below and get notifications of every time a new video comes out in the San Miguel de Allende Secrets video channel here on YouTube.